Okay.
Sorry.
You see the number recorded?
Yes.
Hello, my name is Teresita Blanco, the Artsy sister, and this is chapter 7, part 2 of Saturnastra Marduke. Alright, let's try this again because it took a photo instead of recording. This also loyalty pleased me. Bruno was still a bit disconcerted about the promise he had made. He convinced himself that I was just testing him. Okay, is it still recording?
Yes, it's still recording.
Once things settled down, Bruno faced the others. I shared a meal with them. As usual, Rimaro did not eat anything. After I was done eating, I left with Rimaro to find the other. Much to their chagrin, I made them relocate to the cave. I told them to keep our discovery a secret. By nightfall, we all rendezvoused inside the cave. When we all reunited, we were asked many questions. My crew, following Kano's example, my crew managed to elude all the questions pertaining to what we had found 2 months ago. While they spoke, I went to say goodbye to Rimaro. I hugged and kissed him on the cheek. Rimaro simply smiled back. He said in a sad, low voice, "I have been thinking of relocating." "Where would you go?" I asked. "Further north, where the nights are longer than the days," he answered. Mikala wishes to return home and visit her family. She needs me to protect her in the mornings. "Good luck," I said as Rimaro departed. The last month of our training we spent in relationship building. During this time I arranged my unit. The bulkiest of them became defenders and the strongest became my executioner. They used axes and other heavy volley weapons that I had managed to procure for the remainder. The fastest ones became runners or rogues, depending on what you prefer to call them. They fought at a range with bows and arrows. Morale-wise, my troops imagined themselves dead due to their loyalty. Many a time they considered leaving the forest and trying their luck among regular humans. In the end, it was impossible for a berserker to hide their true nature. There would always be a small phrase, a word, a gesture, an implied insult that would send their fury flying. In the end, they admitted that they could not survive away from birds. The time?
12 minutes.
On the last week of our stay, Cannon disappeared. While we waited a day for him to resurface before starting our search. We looked high and low for him. I even sent a search party to look for him on the lab, inside the hidden facility. On the 5th day, one of our sentries yelled, "Sphinx!" During our combat training, my Fuka had showed us how to subdue larger flyers and other giant monsters. Sphinxes were complicated beasts. Unlike chimeras, they were calm and intelligent. It was usually easier to capture a chimera alive. This sphinx was unlike the statues we had seen in Bersamet's palace. This one had large bird-like wings. Instead of having a lion's body, it had a black puma form. However, what really stuck out aside was the fact that the sphinx had a man's body. It was unusual to find a solitary male sphinx away from his pack. This sphinx had chosen the dead of night to strike. Due to his dark hues, it was hard to track down his movement. Under the cover of the trees, we managed many times to elude his swooping strikes. Things got worse when the sphinx caught forth a blizzard. Now there was literally no freaking way to tell where it was coming from. I gave my troops the orders to retreat to the cave. All the while, the sphinx made fell swooping attempts. Eventually it landed and it started pursuing us on foot. In the midst of the storm, I managed to yell out a command. "Everyone defend the standard beast into the cave, and those with axes come with me." We started running back with the 10 executioners we had. Those with the largest weapons would meet the black sphinx inside the cave. Inside, it would not be able to maneuver as much. While I waited within, we desperately lighted all of the firewood we had. We needed as much light as possible to brace ourselves against the beast. After a few minutes that seemed like hours, I saw the defenders bracing back against the beast. Bruno was leading them. The main defenders had discarded their weapons in place of their shields. They took care to block each time the beast would claw them. However, whenever it would jump at them, they were forced to break formation and regroup away from the beast. The beast was too large for them to shield against its full body weight. When they saw the cave behind it, the defenders disbanded again. They made a mad rush inside the cave while the Sphinx was chased after them. Never before had I seen them run so quickly, not even during the chariot training. Just before they entered, the Sphinx made a huge leap toward them. Seeing this, I yelled at them, "Turn around! Defend!" This command saved their lives. They quickly turned around and they formed a phallus formation. Putting all their shields together before them, they were able to block the incoming Sphinx claw attacks. The force of the blow made them fly across the cave. They managed somewhat not to injure themselves during the fall. The Sphinx's job was more fortuitous. The plan, however, the Sphinx was stuck inside with us. When I saw the human body of the beast up close, I recognized it as Canon. My suspicions about his true nature had come true. Everyone else do recognize it, and they waited on my order to strike him down. As I got closer to the pink cannon that was stuck inside the entrance of the cave, I said to him, "Any last word?" His human form gave a loud yell that sounded otherworldly. It had a mixture of the bat screech and the roar of a lion. Hearing this response, I made a sign to my men. Using their claymores and executioner axes, they started hacking away at the beast. From the first strike, black blood poured out. For safety purposes, I made them cut the front puma legs. Despite the blows he was receiving, Cannon did not make a peep. His human form just seemed to be sneering at us. This is considered the others. I made a move to strike at his human heart, however something strange happened. He quickly turned into a ball of light. In front of it emerged Cannon, a puma, and a tiny black bat. Just as swiftly they all fused together again. However, this time the form that Cannon had was that of a small bat with the body of a human and the face of a puma. I said to my men, "Kill it." We each grabbed a torch and we tried to burn it. However, Cannon flew deeper into the cave. As he fled, I said to my troops, "Change your plans. Leave the longsword behind and just take the bows and arrows. We're finally in close quarters. Defenders walk ahead of me with shields raised, just in case. I led the group across the small, narrow corridors of the cave. I had my dagger and torch with me. At a certain point, we started hearing strange whisperings inside the cave. Oh yeah, the time?
7 minutes.
I made signs for everyone to put their backs against the wall. Seconds later, the entire cave was illuminated by a bolt of lightning that passed between us. How we stayed front and center, it would have stricken us down. I whispered to them, "Magic. We must find Cannon before he has a chance to cast another spell." Once again, the strange whispering resumed. The cave made an echo that made it impossible to tell whether he was near or far. As we got closer, I noticed a strange smell in the air. It had a pleasant aroma. Growing over the ground, strange blue flowers bloomed. The flowers and their spores seemed to glow in the dark. After smelling them a little, I started to see double. The walls appeared to melt as well. I covered my nose with my cloak and started backing away. I said to the others, "You must not stop to smell the flowers." And then Bruno said, "Obviously." Together we started moving backwards. The spores seemed to cover the very space around us, and by now everyone noticed the danger. We tried running back, however the flowers seemed to be spread anywhere we stood. By now the sweetly smell was sickening. On the floor I vomited my lunch, and then I said to the others, "Since we can't outrun them, then we will just have to burn them." Swiftly we made our way back to the source of the strange whispering. All the while we purified the air with our torches. Our most mitigated somewhat the effects. By now I had problems breathing. I felt as if my body weighed a ton, yet our sheer will kept us going forward. The third spell was even more problematic. From the end of the cave, we had running water. The current seemed to be completely filling up the room. I started gasping for air. The others too panicked. We all held onto the walls to keep ourselves from drowning. Beneath the black water, I saw the burning torch. This made me realize that the water was only an illusion. I said to the others, "Look beneath the water. See the torches? This is only an illusion." This brought the others to their senses. However, it did nothing to get rid of the imaginary water. We still felt its effects. We had to convince ourselves that it was not really there, that we were not truly drowning. We still present with the imaginary water and the ever-blooming blossoms. Eventually, two of our fighters collapse. I get the other two defenders to turn back with them. Close to the end, we felt a strong biting wind. Unlike the imaginary water, this wind was no illusion. It felt as if it were being pushed back, and by now the blossoms had grown rather large. They started growing beneath our boots as if rooting us to the ground. To make matters worse, the wind started eroding our metal gears. Our armor and swords turned to rust. It so happened that some of our execution warriors carried large quantities of oil in the metal container. The wind made oil fall to the ground. That combined with our fallen torches made the flames larger. In no time, the end of the cave was set ablaze. I said to the others, "Run, let's get out of the cave." While we ran from the fire, I covered myself completely with my old robes. I felt the heat passing over me like a fury. However, the robes prevented the fire from touching my flesh. Above them I could hear cannons batforms screeching. It seemed that the flames had gotten him as well. Crawling across the inferno, I made my way towards the source of the scream. Eventually, I felt the water beneath me. I was at the end of the cave. The second I felt the blazes departing over me, I removed my cloak. Floating over the pool of water lay Cannon's bat form, burned to a crisp. Like before, Cannon separated in three forms. The animal forms came together around the human form. However, the human form it revealed was that of the same Cannon I knew. His human form had none of the inherent animal traits. Seeing my chance, I stabbed him square in the heart. I then took a few steps back. Cannon glanced at his wounded heart and smiled. He took out the dagger and threw it before me. Shocked, I said, "Your human form is immortal?" Cannon gave a cold laughter that echoed across the cave. It had a mixture of the human laughter and the noises of his two animal forms. Smiling, he said, "You know, Bersamin said the same thing the first time he tried to strike me down." Taking the dagger back, I said, "I could just kill you when you are in your other forms or when you separate into three. You have already killed me in my lion form and my bat form. Also, during your explosion, my three forms separated and they got burned into a crisp. I am functionally immortal, I think." He responded, stretching his hands out to me. From beneath his skin grew a black ebony armor. It bore the designs of the black and the puma form. Slowly he rose out of the water until he was standing on its surface. For each step forward he took, I took a step back. When he was out of the water, he started shaking himself dry. Many of his movements had the feline quality about him. Seeing me still gazing at him thus made him say, "Relax, your final exam is over. There's no need to be so jumpy." "So does Bersamin make you do this to all of his trainees?" I asked. Cannon said sadly, "I may be an ageless immortal. However, it does not mean that I am invulnerable. There comes a time when you get tired of experiencing pain." "I see. So Bersamin whipped you until you became a harmless kitten." This observation made Cannon laugh again. "That is not too far from the truth," he said as he started walking out. I followed Cannon towards the exit. I took care to walk a few steps behind. Since I was behind, I got a good view at Cannon's new mannerisms. For starters, he was always doing a catwalk, and whenever there was an odd sound, his head would twitch like those of a bat. At the end of the cave, I could see the sunlight. Once Cannon showed his face outside the cave, he was greeted by a shower of arrows. When he was underground, the executioner started cutting his body into little pieces. Later, the rogues came and they burned him with torches. Had he been someone else, this brutal attack would have slain him. When they saw the ashes regenerate and they all grasped in unison, "He's immortal." They were all prepared to flee when they saw me. I gestured to them and said, saying, "Relax, Cannon was simply our final exam. As a matter of fact, he does this to all the three. He does all of this final exam because he's immortal." Alright, we'll continue with this chapter later. Bye bye.